start off. You want to get into running. You may want to compete in a race in a couple months. You want to look into getting in good shape. Okay. So what do? So interval training. Once again, I'm just going to restate it: high intensity, low intensity, high intensity, low intensity, high intensity, low intensity, and you just repeat that for X number of minutes, right? Now, here's one thing as a beginner, and actually it doesn't really matter what level you're at, you want to consider is your work to rest ratio. So here's how this works. If you're starting off, you want to focus more on rest than work. Okay? So what this means is that your work to rest ratio will be a little bit less work, more rest. Sorry. Does that make sense? A little bit less work, more rest. Yes, I think so. Okay, so let's say you can't run for more than, I'm on a track here, so let's say you can't run a full 400-meter lap, just as an example. So what you'd want to do is you'd maybe start off by running 100 meters. And we're not talking about sprinting, we're just talking about running 100 meters, okay? And then the next 200 meters, you would walk. Okay, so you'd walk for 200 meters. And usually most tracks have markings to let you know where that is. And then after the 200-meter walk, you would run once again for 100 meters. And you'd repeat that, maybe a total of 4 laps. So you're looking at about 1,600 meters total, 1.6 kilometers, which is essentially 1 mile. Okay, that's just one example of something you can do as a beginner. So it's a combination of walking and jogging. Now the work to rest ratio in that case would be 1 to 2, right? In terms of distance, you're working 100 meters, recovering 200 meters. However, what I like to use more often with beginners is work to rest ratios based on time, because it might take you, let's say, 30 seconds to run 100 meters, but I don't know how long it's going to take you to walk 200 meters. That could take you 10 minutes, right? You could tie your shoe, you could lay down for a bit. So sometimes distance is a little bit skewed. I like to use time instead. So instead of doing 100 meters and 200 meters, here's what I'd suggest. Start off by running for 30 seconds after you've warmed up and you got your body nice and warm, the usual stuff. Do a nice light jog for 30 seconds, okay? Then walk to recover at a good brisk walking pace for 2 minutes. So what that means is that your work to rest ratio is 1 to 4. You're working 1, you're resting 4. 30 seconds, 2 minutes. Okay, got it? Awesome. And start off by repeating that, maybe go for, let's say, 10 minutes, your first time out. And again, this can be done outside, on the track, on the treadmill, anywhere you want to run. And if it's helpful, you also may want to consider looking at our Treadmill Trainer Volume 1 workout. And once again, if you're unfamiliar with the Treadmill Trainer series, these are iPod-based workouts where I'm on your headphones and I'm literally telling you, speed up, slow down, and a little bit more elaborate than that. But it's basically my voice coaching you over your headphones alongside some really, really cool running music to help you get started with your runs. Now, if you're a beginner, you're gonna love the Volume 1 series. And again, the website for that is mytreadmilltrainer.com. If you haven't checked it out, I'd highly recommend you do so. Anyways, back to our story. So you're focusing as a beginner, as I'm just going to say as a rule of thumb, for somebody who's never worked out, never run before, 1 to 4 work to rest ratio, okay? So if you're a runner, start there. Now, if you're looking to lose weight and you want to use interval training for that, that's totally fine as well. And I'd actually recommend you do the same thing, okay? 1 to 4. And as you get fitter, if you're a runner as well, if you get fit, well, not if, but as you get fitter, right, we're going to reduce the recovery, right? So from 1 to 4, we might go 1 to 3. So now going back to our example here, right, we're going to work for 30 seconds, and then we're going to recover for 90 seconds, okay? And then we work for 30 seconds again, and we recover for 90 seconds. And we repeat that for a couple sessions, a couple workouts, until you get fitter to the point where that recovery time seems like a lot. Okay, and this is especially beneficial, well, again, both for weight loss and running, because with running, the ultimate goal is to be able to run as fast as possible for as long as possible, and that's going to be relative to every individual. But the idea with interval training is that you want to approach that work bout to that rest level as much as possible. So instead of being running and walking, you want to get to the point where it's just running at a consistent speed. And you can build it up with interval training. So as you get fitter, once again, we go from 1 to 3 to 1 to 2. So now, for instance, we work for 30 seconds, we recover for 60 seconds. And as you get fitter still after a few workouts, it might go to 1-to-1. So 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And as you get fitter still over the course of a couple weeks and months, then you reverse it. So it goes 2-to-1. So now you're working 60 seconds, recovering 30 seconds. So now we're reducing the amount of recovery time and forcing you to literally run pretty consistently. And again, this obviously takes time. This doesn't happen over a week, but this takes a couple weeks and months. But I just want to give you an example of the progression that happens using this type of work to rest ratio protocol. All right, so let's just go back to, so running, very important. You know, you don't just want to walk, you want to be able to run. So that's why interval training is very helpful. For weight loss, again, interval training is the best by far, because what it allows you to do is, again, work at that higher intensity, which means that you're going to rev up your metabolism, get your heart rate higher, which means you're going to be churning through calories a lot more effectively than if you just went for a nice light jog, okay? I'm sure you can see the difference between me doing this and if I were sprinting around the track, right? There might be different energy demands. Okay, so very important to understand. Working at a higher intensity is going to help you burn more calories, and if you want to burn fat, burning overall calories is the name of the game, and that's what interval training will help you do.